What up, YouTube? It's Mac Trucker. Been a minute. Been about eight and a half months, maybe even a little bit longer. I'm up here in this hotel room, as you can see. Not really the best sign and the best place you want to be when you're out here on the road trucking. It's a little Mikasa. Yesterday and tonight, bed ain't made. You know how it is. You know how it is. But nothing too spectacular. I'm out here trying to save money, man. That was a little $70 a night hotel room, and they ain't had much to choose from here in Ringgold, Georgia. Got my truck over there at the Clark Power. Third time my AC compressor done burn up. So obviously at the first time it went out, woke up, and it's actually down here in Georgia. I was down there, I don't know, Brunswick, Georgia or something off of 95. That was I don't know what, a little over 2 months ago. And then that one lasted a month. And then that one burned up and broke the belt over there when I was sleeping in West Virginia at the receiver. You know, sleeping in the lot. Good little place, all by itself. You don't have to worry about nothing. But I wake up, I'm sweating my ass off. You know, it's been a hot ass summer out here. I wake up, I'm like, man, it's awfully hot. You know, so I get out there, pop the hood and all that stuff, because I'm getting ready to hop up anyway, do my pre-trip. And I noticed that my belt was broken. I was like, oh boy. And obviously, so you know what do they call it, serpentine belt or whatever. It controls your water pump, your AC compressor, your alternator, all that good stuff. And I'm like, shit, here we go with this. You know, I had never ever had an AC compressor go out on me, let alone a broken belt. So I'm trying to scratch my head, figure out what to do. And that's what you got to do when you're out here in the game. You got to think on the fly. And I was like, man, ain't really no shops that I want to go to. I always tend to take my truck to Clark Power. Since they specialize in Detroit engines and I have the Series 60, you know. And I just like to go to a reputable shop and spend my money that way, so I know it's getting used the right way and it's getting fixed the right way. So thinking on the fly, I was like, man, how can I get this to a shop or limp all the way back home, which was like damn near 600 miles back to Indiana, or 500 something, or whatever it was. It was a distance. It wasn't just no hop, skip, and a jump, you know. It was an all day thing. But luckily I got an APU on this truck. But an APU with its own mind, you know, so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I put $2,500 in that thing, man, it still don't work right. But anyway, I got it to come on, and I got to thinking, I said, well, if I could use this APU, it'll keep my batteries charged, it'll keep the coolant flowing through the system, because the APU is integrated with the coolant system up front. So the water pump on that was going to, you know, circulate the whole thing. At least that's how I think the mechanics of it work. I ain't no mechanic. So that's what we did. And we made it all the way home until I hit the bypass in my town where I grew up. And then I had like another, I don't know, 10, 12 miles out to my house, which I live outside in the country. And then the thing shut off. I was like, oh boy. It made it all that way, and the APU shut off, you know, a little code or whatever. And I made it to my driveway. I was like, shit. Because I was going to have my wife follow me up to Fort Wayne to go drop it off at Clark Power up there. And I know a lot of y'all probably think, well, I did take the chance, all that stuff. You know, well, I'm kind of picky. You know, I've been kind of screwed in the past. And I really don't like messing with new shops or stuff like that. If I got to, I got to. But if I can make it, I'm going to make it. So we get up there and get that stuff changed. And they, you know, I put new belts and everything. Had to do that stuff while I was there. All the belts. And then put the AC compressor on there. And I lasted 1 month to the day. Again. Now down here, because they done swapped it out, put a new one on there, and that was covered under warranty, but then I still lost 4 or 5 days. You know, so that's the little stuff that makes you frustrated out here. You figure, hell, warranty work, man, and you already know what it is, or at least you think you know what it is. Get me on in there, you know. Don't have me waiting 4 or 5 days. Hell, that's, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, however good you are at negotiating and revenue. So we get that slapped on there up in Fort Wayne. Then it, yesterday it does it again. It didn't break the belt this time. And so the clutch wasn't seized up or locked, so there was no risk right there really at that point in breaking the belt and then getting stranded and had to depend on the APU to limp it. You know, even if that's even how it works, hell, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it is though. But so I get up here and they get up here and they're talking about, well, your AC compressor's on its way out. I'm just like, why? Why does it keep on going out? And they're over there scratching their head. And I'm starting to wonder about Clark Power. It's like, man. Then the dude is trying to take apart one of the lines or whatever for the, what do they call that, expansion valve. He breaks my damn lines. So now they got to go order all that stuff. And now I'm waiting again till tomorrow. So there's more of the little story. That's why I'm in a hotel for the second night. But other than that, everything's been going good, you know. It ain't no 2020, 21. You ain't falling out of truck into a pile of cash. But don't get all, I don't know, stressed out and thinking that you can't make any money. Some people, if you went out there and jumped out and got a $200,000 truck and overpaid for a trailer and spent $75,000, $80,000 on the trailer, you're fucking, your payments $5,000, $6,000 a month to pay for your equipment. I don't know. I don't really talk to all them guys, but I hear and I see stuff on YouTube's and I hear people in the trucking forums and they're complaining about stuff when everybody, especially the people I talk to, that, you know, only really one person that does YouTube, out there telling everybody, keep your expenses low. Yeah, the money is flowing in, you know, back in 2020, 21. Keep your expenses low. Don't jump out there and grab all that stuff. This time will not last. People didn't listen, you know. In a way, I didn't listen, you know. I went out and got this truck and I sold the old one. The old one that already had paid off. But I wanted a pre-emissions truck and I went and got this one. And my truck payment was like, I don't know, $26.78 I think a month. And like I said, I own my trailer. I don't have no truck payment, trailer payment on that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, even in today's rates, today's fuel prices, you can still make it. You know, don't get discouraged. Actually, I'm going to go against the grain. Unlike some of these other people out here on YouTube. Yeah, I'm not a professional YouTuber. I don't do this crap in my basement. I don't pretend to know everything. I keep it honest. I don't sugarcoat nothing. And I like to tell people the truth. I like to help people with whatever knowledge I have. And then, you know, anything else I might hear or learn, I like to pass it on. You know, I think that's the only way to be. But let me see. Yeah, that's the only way to do it. Keep that stuff low. And let's get out here and hustle. You got to grind. You know, you got to put the time in now. You know, I remember I was clocking dough and only working half the year. I wish I would have worked more of that time when it was booming. But you got to really hustle. Don't focus on rate per mile. I'm going to go off with my buddy Jeff. He's kind of like a mentor to me, Jeffrey Like over there. You know, he taught me his little cost per day formula. I used to look at it the same way as everybody else. Rate per day, not rate per day, but a rate per mile, and then get all caught up on that, because back then we was getting $3, $4, $5 a mile, and it wasn't hard to get it. But now when the things done drop and people hear $225 or $250, they get all discouraged and they think it's the end of the world. Yeah, you should know the volume drops, the rate drops. Rate drops, I mean, you just got to work harder and longer, you know. So keep a simple formula. Keep your prices of your equipment down, and then come up with a formula how much you want to work out the month. How much are you willing to work? I try to set mine at 21 days a month. You know, that's what, 9-10 days off every month, you know, and I still reach the same number that I was getting a couple years ago. This has been a long drought, you know. It's going on 1.5 years now. This stuff really tanked in the beginning of the first day of the second quarter of 2022 is when all this stuff started going down. And then we had, for longest time, the prices of fuel skyrocketed. Then we had a little break for about 6 months. And I think the big people at the top that really pulling the strings behind the scenes, I think they had something to do with that, and you know what time of year it was and stuff that was going on. But I'm not going to get all political and all that crap. I'm all about making money and trying to be as successful as I can be, surviving this, and moving on to the next stage. So if you're out there and you got some money saved up, I was looking at some stuff today. Right now is the time to buy. I'm going to go against grain, say it's the time to buy. It is the time, because when I came out here, if anybody goes back to 2020, that's when I came out here on the spot market. I had paid my truck off. I was at Swift, paid it off. And I said, you know what? I'm out of here, man, because I was over there running and gunning and wasn't making really any kind of consistent profit or making even any kind of number at the end of the year. If you looked at it the way they was charging, I would never, ever, ever go to a mega carrier. And I don't care what mega carrier it is. I heard, the last one, what was it? Was Snyder was half decent. I heard they done switched it up on their guys out there. And I heard they was really getting screwed. So I wouldn't do it that way. If you've been out there and you've been trucking, you got the experience. I would not jump out here if you ain't got at least, I'd say 3 to 5 years of experience. If you're going to come out in the spot market and take it out in baby steps. 3 to 5 years of experience, and then go to a company, not a mega carrier, lease onto them like a spot market carrier. And go out there and learn the game for another year. Learn what it's like to have a little bit more responsibility. See what other things that you had to go through now that your success really depends upon you and what you're doing and what obstacles that you're going to run into. How to negotiate and book loads and use these load boards to the best of your ability. Let me not do this shit again. I remember my very first video, I got the clicking away. People were like, man, lay off the pen. I'm not really too comfortable on the camera. So let me stick to little thoughts on my mind. It's not too bad to go out there and get equipment and do this, but you need to keep your expenses down. I wouldn't have a truck payment no more than $1,500. Get you a good used truck. I was looking on here, hold on. Email today. And right here, this is kind of what made me want to do this video, this short little video. Hopefully it ain't going to be too long. I ain't got a whole bunch of subscribers, so they ain't going to really trip too much. If I do reach some other people, I hope I do. But right here, you get, and this is it came through Truck Paper. And you know how you got the little introduction, it's got the pictures and stuff, and this is Pride Truck Sales, so I'm assuming that's a dealership. And you get 2019 Cascadia, and they're starting at $49,995. But then a couple weeks ago, I was checking out the auctions. You can get that same truck at an auction with around the same mileage, and I think that one right there has about 325 on it, 325,000. Get that same truck at an auction for $30K. You go get you a loan on that, or if you could go buy that cash. Some people had that kind of money stacked up. Go out there and buy that cash, but don't spend it all. keep you a little nest egg. You're gonna have repairs and stuff. But what does make this deal kind of special? Let's giving away a 3-month no. If you pay 20% down, they're gonna give you 3 months no payments. So that's a little head start if you was gonna make that. And as long as you keep your expenses down and come up with a cost per day, like mine is $500 a day with all my business expenses, all my home expenses, everything, maintenance count, everything. I like to save $1,000 or $2,000 a month for maintenance, and I can make that at $500 a day. Well, it's actually $500, $502. Actually, I got it wrote down in the back of my pad. Let me see, just in case y'all think I'm BSing. I did all the math. I go old school. I write the stuff down. At 21 days, it's $502.49 after the cost of fuel. And then 24 days, $439.68. 25 days, $422.09. Then 26 days of $405.86. I really don't want to go past 26 days, but I'm in business. I'm out here to survive this bad market, so I'm gonna do whatever it is I got to do. And to take care of the business and take care of home. And then I got all my list of stuff, all my bills, DAT, 123, my internet, my trucking office, my cam scanners, all the little things that I use, my insurance, my truck, driver file, all that good stuff. I put it all in there. Then I got home stuff, how much I want to pay myself at the bare minimum. And so it could be done. But when I was looking there and at the damn auction, you can get that same truck for $30,000, and it was going left to right. Wasn't just one or two. I seen probably a dozen of them fly off there for $30,000. Some with a little bit more mileage and maybe a year or two older. It was going for $20,000. Like, look, if you can't win with that, I don't know what you do. Don't come out here, because you is a terrible negotiator. You can't win with that. I wouldn't, like I said, I jump onto at least onto a carrier that's going to allow you to learn the spot market, negotiating. I think that's a very, very, very valuable step in the process. I went to light trucking when I did it, and I made the decision to do it. And I went over there and learned the business. I spent a year over there, and I loved it. And I learned a lot from Jeff. He taught me some things, a lot of things I had already known, because for 3 or 4 years while I was over there at Swift, and I was getting more frustrated because the more I learned, the more I realized I was getting it right up the rear end. I was getting screwed. So it caused me to study this stuff, and I learned so much stuff studying out here. You can find a lot of people out here, even if you just watch a handful of them, you're going to learn some things. It's like in the beginning, like I learned how to use the DAT load board on pretty much every feature it had just by watching Make Sense's videos. And then I learned how to use the 123 before I ever had it by watching Jeff's videos. And then I learned other things by like watching SoCal, giving off knowledge, and stuff like that. So you can learn a lot. Study. You treat it like fucking school or something, like a trade in college or something, because you don't want to come out here blind and scratching your head once you do get out here and you go spend some money. But with these prices of equipment coming out there and jumping in, it might not be such a bad idea. Because when I came out here in 2020, like I said, and I was getting ready a few minutes ago before I got to rambling on. I tend to do that when I got a million things on my mind. But I came out here at the beginning of 2020, and everybody knows, when COVID first hit, people was, in the very beginning, you could get 5 or 6, then it really tanked, where a lot of stuff was closing down. The automakers all closed down. I remember my brother was affected by that. All the GMs and Chryslers, all that stuff closed down. They went to making other stuff that didn't even have nothing to do. And then you had all the auto people coming to run the regular stuff, and then it tanked the prices. And then somewhere around like the end of June or beginning of July 2020, that's when the stuff shot up. But in that little few months time period, it got really, really hard. I remember being happy just to get $1.75, and $1.75 a mile. And I was like, well, I can make it. I had a paid off truck. At the time, I was renting a trailer, and I could make it. So if you think like that, and you can make it through a time like that, which is no different than now, the hard time is the best time to learn. But it is not the best time to learn if you go out and get that $100,000 truck, $150,000 truck. Keep those expenses low. Don't get too much extra of anything. Link up with people that's going to give you the 100% fuel discount and things like that. Those are tremendously going to help. And just do stuff like that. I'm going to go against the grain, and I'm going to say yes. You could jump out here. You can make some money. You could and put yourself in position, because once this stuff turns around, you're going to be first in line. And to get the getting while the getting's good. A lot of people right now, they're going bankrupt, and they're falling off, or they're just losing the will to want to even do this anymore. Because right now, to go from $4 or $5 a mile down to $2 and $0.50, you might be doing pretty good a mile. It's really hard to negotiate really high rates right now. I'll share some of my strategy. I like doing the shorties sometimes, even though I switch it up here and there. I don't stay in one niche all the time. I switch it up. And I'll do the shorties, and then sometimes I'll do some long hauls over the weekend, or I'll go out to a dead zone, Montana, or whatever, and then I'll just catch them slipping, and they'll give me what I want. And I'll throw a number out there, and I'll expect them to laugh at me or hang up on me or whatever. The next thing you know, they're sending me a rate con. It don't happen all the time. So if you're listening to this and you think, oh, wow, I could go out there and get it like that, it doesn't happen like that all the time. You got to have a strategy. I will tell you this. I was surprised at the beginning of this year. It's one of the reasons I ain't made no video. No one's heard from me. I had a buddy. He called me up. He said, hey, man, how did I get those discounts? It wasn't too far after my last video, fuel discounts and saving stuff. He called me up. He said, hey, or he texted me. He said, hey, man, how do I get those fuel discounts, So I said, hey, here's my number. Hit me up. He hit me up, and I've known him since we was kids. He's actually the bigger homie, though. He's a little bit older than me. And he called me up, and I said, this is how you do it, get you EFS card or whatever. I told him my situation, how I was doing it. And he said, oh, cool. Then he tells me about his stuff. He said, hey, man, I've been doing this power only. I said, oh, man, I ain't worried about that power only. He has his own authority. He's got his truck and another truck that he also owns, but he's got a driver for that one. And he's like, no, man. He says, I'm really killing it. I was like, yeah. He needs getting it through a broker. He was power only. He said, I'm making $2,000 a day. I said, ain't no way. I said, dude, send me some rate cons. He sends me the rate cons. I couldn't believe my eyes. $2,000 a day. Yes, you did have to unload. But and this was beginning on like February, something like that. And he sends me the rate cons. He sends me the one for each truck he had that day. So I was $4,000. And then he was getting them 5 days a week, basically Monday through Friday. And he was delivering. It had multi-stops. He was unloading. But it was a 500-mile round trip. And $2,000. Go out there, deliver, bring it right back same day. Come back in the morning, grab another one, do boom, boom, boom. 2 trucks. He was making 20 stacks a week. Generated, no BS. If I'd never seen a rate con, I'd never believed it. So you got to look for opportunities like that. Go out there and talk to people, and try to make those connections. Those are very rare right now, and that stuff fell through because the broker lost a contract. It was with a big corporation. I'm not going to throw any of that information out there because I think my buddy, he's working with another broker or maybe even direct and getting it himself. But I will say it was hard work. But I was working 3.5 days a week, making 7 stacks every week consistently. I didn't even want to run 5 days a week like he was. And I was like, screw that, man. I would take the other half, just chill at home with my kids because I had young kids still, one 15 and one 6. So I like to spend time with them as much as possible. Trucking life's it's hard. But what I would say, and I don't want to go on and on and on, and I wasn't even really prepared to do a video, but I seen an email and I had a few other things in my mind. I said, I'm gonna go out here and just do me a little bootleg video. I ain't got my StreamYard with me or nothing like that. Look, I call it a motivational video, call it informational, but you can survive. Don't listen to everybody out there. No, you're not going to ball. I mean, unless you've got a paid off truck and maybe a paid off trailer, and then you could really still put together some real scratch. But in the scenario that you have to pay some kind of payment, as long as you keep that stuff, I'd say keep your truck payment below $1,500. And you get to one of them $20,000, $30,000 trucks auction. I'm talking an 18 or a 19 with 300, 400, maybe even 500,000. Now, if you get up into an emissions truck and it's got 450,000 or more, you're getting into that time frame where whether it's a Kenworth or a Freightliner have one box, Kenworth, you get DP at DOC, and I guess it's all separate. I never really ran no Freightliner. I've kind of been a Kenworth guy myself, even when I had emissions. But have you a good line of credit even after you get that, or have a stash of money, 15, 20,000, if not more, even with the low payment, and keep that to the side because you're going to have repairs. Like right now, summertime, really hot, eats up AC compressors, obviously. I'm in there trying to get the third one fixed, getting it replaced, and then trying to figure out what's causing it. And then, summer eats up tires. It's bad on AC. So you'll have little expenses. To get that used truck, yeah, you're going to replace some things. But it's not impossible out here, y'all. If you're smart, you're business oriented, and you're willing to learn and study, you can come out here and get it. It's like if I had another trailer or something, I'd probably bring on somebody and let them rent it off me or whatever, and then kind of coach them along and even show them what I've learned over the past 3 years being on the spot market. That is my whole vision of the reason why I got my authority, is to start a company where I can be pretty much one-on-one, keep it small and knit, bring on drivers, use my company as a stepping stone, and teach them what I know, show them the software that I use, the steps that I use, my negotiating, and how you look at the strategy, and how I'm always still making money, still making profit, and if I got a 26, let's call it a $2,700 truck payment. If I got that, and someone went and got one of these little $30,000, $40,000 trucks at the auction, or even through that little dealer, they were selling them for, I don't know, what was it? They were selling it for $49.95 for 2019 FL Cascadia mid-roof. DD13 automatic DT12, whatever the hell that is. I'm just looking at the truck and looking at the little warranty. You can make it with that, definitely. That's more than half less than my payment, but obviously if you don't have a trailer or something, you go get it or whatever. I am creating some opportunities. I'm trying to see some other power only options if someone wanted to take it and they did have a cheap truck like that. I kind of wanted to see what other things was. I just signed on with Amazon because I know their peak season is coming up and that their rates should go up. Right now their rates are, unless you've got a pretty cheap truck, they're pretty low. So I went through that whole BS. It took all their they got these courses, oh my gosh, hours upon hours. I had to do it as a carrier, and I had to do it as a driver to sign myself up as a driver. because you could use your trailer to haul Amazon loads, but I didn't see anything, no bid features on their app or anything like that. But they did send me an email trying to sell me a load. Like, man, you got to be out of your rabbit ass mind. You think I'm hauling that shit for $1.50 or whatever it was, or they wanted me to go to a rail yard or something like that, and this is shorty. Why would I even start my truck for all those hours for $500 a day? But on some of their stuff where you using their trailer, I was looking at strategy. I was trying to figure out if there's anything else if I wanted to bring someone on. And that's the whole reason I never brought no one on, because of the market. But then I got to running my numbers, and I said, well, my numbers are this high. If someone had something cheaper and they could get a truck like that, they can actually make some money. And then save up real quick and go buy a used trailer, because the trailer prices are coming down. Right now is the time to buy. But you better have your stuff put together, whether I was to bring someone else, you went alike or went somewhere else, some other spot market company. Have your stuff together, take notes, be humble, don't act like you know everything, and work hard. And you'll make it to when this stuff's about to turn around. I don't know when it's going to turn around. I can't predict that. But I got a feeling it's going to be, sometime at the beginning of next year. That's when I'm going to call it. I ain't got no crystal ball or nothing. Let's see if I'm right, though. But I just wanted to come in here and check in. I'm already at 31 minutes or whatever. It's a little bit longer than I really wanted to do. All y'all stay safe and have a blessed day. It was nice chit-chat with you. Hopefully I'll do some videos here soon. If you like what I'm talking about, and if I get a little bit more organized or whatever, I'm not in no hotel room, it'll be a little bit more organized. So if you like what I'm saying or anything, you want to see what I got to say, like and subscribe. That's all I got to say. Y'all have a blessed one. Later.